How can I know oneness? A talk with Unmani.
So our theme is how can I know oneness? So on the path, the spiritual path, we are usually motivated by the pain of separation. Right? We feel the pain of a kind of disconnect in our world, in our human experience, where the norm in our world is usually to believe that I'm located in here and you're located in there, and we are separate, and that when I'm in here the world is all outside of me and I'm navigating and negotiating with the world, trying to connect, trying to fit in, trying to find a sense of belonging, trying to relate with others, trying to connect and meet and be met. And there can often be a longing, a really deep longing to meet beyond separation, because it seems that there is this game, this play, as if this separation is really real. And when we believe that game, and then all the beliefs around that fundamental belief in separation, then it's a very painful game. Because when we really believe that I'm located in here, it can feel very lonely, very isolated. And somehow we have a sense that it's not true. Not a logical understanding, perhaps, although we may have, of course, picked up lots of spiritual concepts that we hold on to. But in our experience, in our daily interactions, there's often this sense of longing to meet in a way that goes beyond the thinking, beyond the trading stories when we meet each other, but really to meet in that oneness that we really know. We know it because we are that already. We all are that, without exception. There's no one that is not. In fact, there is only oneness here. There's oneness pretending to be separate entities. That's the game of that oneness plays with itself. But when we are within that game and we are taking that game very seriously, and we don't see it as a game, and we see it as real, and then we experience real separation. But because we are essentially that oneness, we have a sense that this is not quite right, this game of separation. It's not quite the truth. And we tend to go around in our lives in search of that true meeting or true acknowledgement of the oneness that we already know that we are. But of course we overlook it. We know it, but we overlook it, and we doubt it, and we assume that must not be anything true. We believe our thoughts. And when we believe our thoughts, the nature of thought is to divide things up, to separate things, to say this is this and that is that. That's the nature of thoughts. It's the nature of words and language. So, and anytime we put a label on something, we are saying that it is separate from anything else. And so we believe our thoughts, and this then is experienced as being very limiting and painful. But when we're so in that, it can be very, almost impossible, it seems, to find our way out of it, find our way to something true and real when when we're believing our thoughts. And of course, everyone around us is also usually believing in their thoughts. So it's very hard to find this conscious acknowledgement of the oneness that we really are. And we tend to search in the world. All right, we're kind of going to each person that we meet, and we're looking for some kind of truth there in different forms, maybe not in those words, maybe it's not so conscious, but we're looking to really be seen and to really be able to show ourselves in a way that, is beyond boundaries, beyond any need to protect ourselves or defend ourselves. Yeah. And we never find it in the world, really. All we find in the world are temporary moments. There might be beautiful moments of like a sense of oneness, where we, perhaps in a moment, for example, when we fall in love and we merge into each other's eyes, and feels that there's a real melting and merging. But this is always going to be a temporary experience. Same as if you go into nature and you might have a beautiful experience of a sense of oneness in nature, or beautiful spiritual experiences in meditation or any other time. But these experiences are always going to be temporary. And then they just provoke more of a sense of there's something missing, because you have that experience of merging or oneness, and then it passes, so it feels like, oh, I've lost something and I need to get it back. But we're searching in the wrong place to know the oneness that we are. It can never be known in the play of experience. Because it is who you already are. And so if you're looking in the play of experience, you are only ever reinforcing this play of separation. You're saying this special experience is it, and the rest is not. All the experiences that I don't like, that's not oneness. But of course, that's ridiculous, because oneness is oneness, right? It includes everything without exception. Whether the thinking likes that or not, whether your preference, is for that or not. Oneness is radical oneness, right? It's not just a concept, not just a beautiful spiritual concept. It is real, it really includes everything without exception. And so that cannot be found in the play of experience. And to really know what I'm saying, to know that it cannot be found, you have to go through perhaps some years, some long period of your life, searching and failing to find this oneness. Perhaps searching and having these temporary, beautiful experiences, and then realizing that they inevitably will pass. Hoping again, and then failing and falling into hopelessness. This is what often happens to so many people on this path. And then eventually you might realize that you've been looking in the wrong place, that it's not to be found in the world. So then we start to look within, right? And within, at first, still within somehow is still in the world, because we're looking for an experience in meditation, perhaps, or an experience even in our kind of personal world. But even there, it cannot be found. It is not even a case of finding it in a kind of meditative experience There is no experience that is this oneness. I mean, or we can also say it the other way around, that every experience without exception is oneness, you know. So true oneness is about actually acknowledging who we really are, that is aware of it all. And when we acknowledge that, it's not about having a special experience, but there may be a kind of byproduct experience of, you know, of an experience of merging, or an expansive, blissful experience. And those experiences are beautiful, but they'll always be temporary. So we should not be confused by these byproducts, you know. The oneness is who you are, always. And it is playing in the world, right? So the world is an expression of the oneness that you are. So every experience in our lives is an opportunity to know myself like this or like that, or in this flavor, or in this interaction, in this challenge, in this problem, in this heartbreak, in this joyful experience. You know, it's always an opportunity to know myself. So every person, everything that we interact with, everything that we experience is myself, life itself, but myself knowing myself. When we don't believe our thoughts, then there is no separation. Thoughts are the tool of separation, as is time, right? When we believe that the thoughts that talk about time, then we believe that I'm someone separate living in time. And this again is the play as if there is separation. But if we see it as just a play, then we can play fully in this play of oneness, of separation. I mean, it's oneness playing as if it's separate. We can play fully as if we are separate. But we always know that this is just a play of myself playing with myself.